Good morning, operators. Stand by. Stand by. Coffee's hot, frequency's alive. 145.430. You're listening to the morning hum. This is the Coffee Break Net. Steam rising but the sunrise glow. Signals bouncing nice and low. Foothill light and silicon sky. Morning check-ins rolling by. Call sign ready, mic in hand. Voices drifting through the band. RF dancing in the air. Someone's mobile somewhere out there. Heat up, drop your sign. One at a time. You're sounding fine. Sip so don't rush the day. Net control will lead the way. Coffee on the console. Radio's awake. Morning on the machine. Give and take. Voices in the speaker, smooth and clean. So like riding on the beam. Checking out, don't hesitate. This is how we caffeinate. From the hills to the bay. W6EK Echo Kilo starts the day. Check here. AllStarLink been feeling strong. Echolink brings friends along. Mobile bass or handheld tight. Everyone's sounding right. Morning traffic rolling through. Signal reports 5x2. Laughing in between the keys. Coffee cup and beeper R's. Mic drop, carry a tone. You're never really alone. One more round, take your place. Good vibes on the interface. Coffee on the console. Radio's awake. Morning on the machine. Give and take. Voices in the speaker, smooth and clean. Sunlight riding on the beam. Check it out. Don't hesitate. This is how we caffeinate. Morning voices, RF stream. Coffee break, live on the machine. Good morning, operators. Stand by. Coffee's hot. Frequency's alive. Good morning, operators. Stand by. Good morning. Voices. Stand by. Stand by. Good morning, operators. Stand by. Stand by. Good morning, operators. Stand by. Stand by.
Good morning, mates. Welcome to the Coffee Break Net on the W6EK Repeater located in Auburn, California. The Coffee Break Net, where the sun is always shining, the birds are singing, and the fish are jumping. This net is sponsored by the Sierra Foothills Amateur Radio Club in Northern California. We're here every day of the week from 7:30 to 10 o'clock Pacific Time. Please welcome your net control host and conversation facilitator for today's Coffee Break Net, Brian, AI6US, checking in from beautiful Meadow Vista, California. Let's get the Coffee Break Net underway. Good morning, everybody.
Hey, good morning, everybody. Welcome. It is Wednesday, hump day. It's March 4th, 2026. And let's get this Wednesday underway. Yeah, I'm Brian, AI6US. It is a beautiful broken clouds, and the sun is starting to come out here in Meadow Vista, California. Hope it is a beautiful day wherever you are. Let's see. Let's first welcome some new licenses to our hobby. 5 of the 8 licenses have already been issued by the FCC for the technicians that were in our exam classes last Monday. So Michelle, KO6MSO, congratulations. Gary, KO6MSP, congratulations to you. Andre, KO6MSE, good morning and welcome to you. If you're listening, good morning to Matt, KM7EPN. Matt is from Nevada, came over to test with us. And Drew, KO6MSN. So we'll have a few more calls to announce. If you hear these folks check in, please welcome them to a wonderful, wonderful hobby. And we'll be looking for these new calls and hear them on the air soon. Well, before we take our first round of check-ins, let's find out what the national and international days are. Today is World Obesity Day, and as a cruel joke, it's also National Pound Cake Day. It's also National Grammar Day. Grammar be a good thing, eh? National Grammar Day. Today is Global Day of the Engineer. Our hats off to the engineers out there. It is also Hug a GI Day, and something that's very popular here in the Sierras, Backcountry Ski Day. So there were so many days out there. If I was to go through the full list of days that we are celebrating, it would probably take up the full Coffee Break Net. Well, with that, let's go ahead and start taking some quick in and out check-ins this morning. And let's start with folks in Northern California, because that's where we are based. So let's first welcome any stations that are coming in from Northern California, whether you are by RF or by node, you are welcome to check in. So Northern California stations for quick in and outs. Good morning.
Good morning, Brian and Net. Kilo Golf 6, November, Lima Whiskey.
Good morning, November 6, Charlie Kilo Victor.
KA6WQ. Good morning, Brian.
KA6UAI.
Whiskey Uniform 6 Hotel.
Hey, good morning, Brian. Kilo 6, Delta X-Ray November.
Whiskey 60, Mike. 6, Charlie, Delta, Quebec.
Kilo Oscar 6, Kilo Mike Romeo, over.
All right, good morning, Northern California folks. This is who I heard. KO6KMR, good morning, Robert. K86CDQ, good morning to Rick. W6SOM, good morning, Charlie. And good morning to Simone, K60XN. And good morning to Ryan, WU6H. Good morning, Ron, KA6UAI. And good morning to Dan, KN6WQU. Good morning to Carl, N6CKV. And good morning to Frank, KG6 in LW. All right, now let's find out for quick in and outs who's coming in through the internet from anywhere.
KJ5 Golf Whiskey November. Good morning, Brian.
All right, so we have Will coming in, KJ5 Golf Whiskey November. Good morning, Will. All right, up to the top, KG6 in LW. Good morning, Frank. Anything for the net this morning?
Let's see. There we go. Now I'm keyed up. It's weird. My All-Star will key up, but it won't key up all the way through. Good morning, Brian and Coffee Break Net. Kilo Golf 6, November, Lima Whiskey here. Congratulations to the new hams. That is fantastic news indeed. It's a sort of overcast day here in Cloverdale this morning, but it's supposed to be nice and cozy, so that's the nice part. Not much else going on here. I think I'm going to get out and get a video done today. I have one in the queue ready to go for tomorrow night. It'll be just shy of 5 o'clock that it gets premiered, so come on by and say hi. Especially if you have Apple and you don't know how to do a proper import to Grid Tracker of your ADA files. Yes, you can put all your contacts that you've ever made in the Grid Tracker, not just those FT8 ones. With that, I think that's it. Oh, yeah, we're live on YouTube with 5 people watching this morning. Small group, but it's there. Good morning, Brian. AI6US, KG6 and LW.
All right, Frank, good morning to you. Sounds like you have a busy day planned ahead, and sounds like you're on a Kenwood.
Oh, am I too loud? Is that what you're saying? I have a loud mouth? No, I'm actually on a Baofeng Mini that I have yet to customize, so here. I'll back off a little bit.
No, I heard a clocking sound that normally we hear with Kenwoods with a microphone cable. Definitely just a clocking. So, thought it was a Kenwood. Well, good morning to you, Frank. You have a wonderful day ahead. Thanks for...
Of course, and yeah, I know. I'm on a Baofeng Mini this morning. The only Kenwood I have here would be RF based on VHF, and you know I'm not close enough for that, Brian. Have a great day.
But NARC might think you are. Inside joke for people who know the NARC organization for repeater organizations up here. Good morning, Clearing with Frank, and good morning, N6CKV, and I hope you're doing well this morning, Carl.
Good morning, Brian, and everyone else out there. First of all, congratulations to the new hams. Welcome to the hobby. Yeah, I saw the doctor yesterday, doing well. Have a class today on pain management, 2nd of 8, so we're going to keep working on that. Other than that, not much going on. The sun's hitting the ground, like you say, so that's a good sign.
But it is sure encouraging the grass to grow. The grass has been popping out this past week, and I know that means it's tractor time for you.
Yeah, with the stuff that's being done with my back, tractor time's about a month away, so I have to let it grow even more, which is going to make it really rough, but we'll manage.
Well, good morning to you there, Carl, and I'm glad the appointments went well yesterday, and definitely the pain management, it's one of those things where they warned us as we got older. That's what we would be focusing on, and I'm starting to believe the people that have lived before us. You have a wonderful day. Good morning to Ruth, and we'll catch you another time. N6CKV, AI6US. Have a wonderful Wednesday.
Thank you, Brian. Have a good Wednesday, everyone. This is N6CKV 73 in Idle-N.
And clearing with Carl, let's check in now with Dan, KN6WQU. Good morning, Dan.
Good morning, Coffee Break Net. This is KN6WQU. Just took Zane off to school, just trying to get through my scheduling this morning. I actually got a client on the phone already, so I'm just going to make it short and sweet. Just another beautiful day. This is KN6WQ. Thanks for being here, Brian.
Well, thanks for checking in this morning, and I imagine a day like this is to be appreciated. It's going to just be a perfect temperature and to be working outdoors today. Have a great day, Dan. KN6WQU, AI6US for the Coffee Break Net. And good morning to Ron, KA6UAI. Something tells me Ron's phone rang and he decided to focus on making money instead of talking. KA6UAI. Good morning, Ron. Are you there? All right, we'll put down Ron for a in and out this morning. Hey, good morning, Ryan, W6H.
Good morning, Brian, and Coffee Break Net, W6EK. Boy, I love to hear shiny, can't hear shiny, but you know what I mean, shiny new call sign. Congratulations to the team, and then I'll take the lead on Chief BE. Am I the only weird one here that can't wait for the KOs to switch to not going to be P's for Puerto Rico, but I guess that's going to be KQ next. Like, you know, you're driving down the road and you're like, ooh, what comes after 9ZZ999 on the license plate?
Well, we're getting mighty close. I would say probably by June or July. Look at current consumption rates of the 6 calls. We'll probably be moving into the queues. Yeah, that's not too far off. Well, good morning, Ryan. Hope that you have a wonderful day ahead, and I'm going to enjoy my AI6 call.
Absolutely. All right, guys. Good morning. 7-3 WU6H.
All right, Ryan. You be safe out there and have a wonderful day ahead. Hey, let's head on down to Placerville, K6DXN. Good morning.
Just a little lower, Cameron Park, but you weren't too far off the mark. Good morning, Brian.
For those of us over here, you know, everybody thinks I'm in Auburn. No, I'm in Meta Vista. Hey, good morning. And what do you have for the net this morning?
Yeah, it's like when I tell people I'm from Southern Cal. Oh, L.A. It's all L.A. And then I tell them I move up here. Oh, you live in San Francisco. Not a whole bunch. Good morning. I'll make it quick. I just dial in through the bands, and seems like it's kind of quiet. Got one park in the panhandle of Texas, and he was about a 5.3 and gave me a 5.3, so doesn't seem like the bands are hopping. I dialed through 15 and 10, and it's very sparse, so I'll let you get to someone else. Just wanted to get checked in, and I have a great day.
Yeah, unless 10 is open to Europe by this time, it's usually kind of quiet for another couple hours, and then we start hearing coast to coast. But yeah, the band conditions, at least if you're going by the charts, look pretty decent today. A lower sunspot number, but good, and a low noise today. And yeah, it looks like it could shape up to be a decent day. Well, Simone, you have a wonderful day ahead. Thanks for checking in. And I always appreciate you being here, my friend. K6DXN, AI6US. Happy hump day.
I want to mention, too, we will be doing trivia. I'm going to have my grandson tomorrow night, but we'll keep him entertained for an hour and planning on doing trivia, so hope we have some participation. K6DXN 73.
All right, good news. So mark your calendars, set your timers this Friday night, 7:30 p.m. here on 51018, node 51018, and also on Echolink and on the repeater. Drop on in for a fun trivia night, an hour long, starting at 7:30 p.m. Pacific time with Dawn and Simone. Thanks, Simone. You have a wonderful day. 7-3.
Good
morning, Charlie.
All right, 7-3.
W6SOM.
Check, please. WB6BJM.
You've been checked.
Contact. Could you please give me a call on your? Could you give me a call when you get a chance?
Yeah, somebody talked over the top of you. Try that again, Mark.
To get a hold of Simone to see if he could give me a call. I wanted to talk to him on the phone.
All right, Simone, did you get that message?
Roger, yep, I'll give you a call right now, Mark. Thanks.
All right, contact made. Good morning, Charlie. W6SOM.
Good morning. It's Whiskey 60 Oscar Mike. Sorry, my radio suddenly switched to digital for some reason. Just wanted to say hi to everybody on the net. Not much going on here. Just working on the table and doing tickets for Sutter. Having a good time. Back to you.
Tickets for Sutter. What came to mind was you were having a prize drawing. No. Support tickets. Well, very good. That is so awesome that you get to do that from home. And I imagine sometimes with a house full of rambunctious kids, it's probably a hard one to pull off. But I know you kind of, when the doors close, Dad is working.
Yeah, they're pretty good about it, but occasionally I have to go out to the garage if it gets too loud because they're running around and horse playing, and they're having a good time.
I think last time we were talking, you were working on a bench seat. What table are you working on now?
Well, I got the benches done. I'm working on a trestle table that's 70 inches long. I can sit 4 kids aside, and then Christine and I can sit at each end. So it's big enough for the whole family. I got most of the parts of the table done. We got to sand them a bit, and I got to start putting it together. Hopefully by the end of Saturday, and then we got to stain it and paint the top.
Well, very good. And you call that a I didn't catch the exact pronunciation. Trestle table or trestle?
Yeah, trestle table. It's basically just a farmhouse table. It's got a single pylon down the center of the bottom, 2 large feet, and then the benches just slide underneath. So think of farmhouse. It's built like a tank, so the kids can stab it, gouge it, paint it, whatever they want to do, and it won't go away.
Okay, familiar with the farmhouse type table, so I never had heard that name before. Thank you. I learned something new this morning. Well, good morning, Charlie. Thanks for dropping by this morning, and you have a wonderful Wednesday ahead. W6SOM, AI6US.
7-3, Whiskey 60, Oscar Mike.
Good morning, Rick. KD6CDQ. Welcome to the Coffee Break Net this morning.
Good morning, Brian in the net. This is KD6CDQ, Rick in beautiful downtown and nicely sunny North Highlands. Gonna have a pretty easy day, but I do have a very important job to do, and
I can't do it yet. Of all things, I have to wait about another 6 hours.
6 hours, we'll probably put it almost 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Is that when your alarm clock rings and you get up? Or or maybe if you told us you'd have to kill us?
I won't need an alarm clock. I got a little feline who doesn't mind interrupting my sleep when I'm trying to get some. But I got to be nice to her. She's going on 10 years old, so she gets away with a lot that she shouldn't get away with. Now, I got 6 more hours to wait on a very, very important, what should I call it? Well, I guess a culinary item. I make beef jerky every once in a while, and that is the only snack I know. It takes forever to make it, and shortly after you made it, it's gone.
You know, Lynn has been picking up the little sticks recently, and yes, they do go very rapidly. So, actual beef that you've cut yourself, and how do you cure it?
First of all, I use London broil, and buy the biggest ones I can find. I usually buy pretty close to 5 pounds of London broil. Freeze it. When I take it out of the refrigerator, I'll let it thaw just a little bit. I don't want it totally thawed. I want it to be basically almost still frozen. Get my meat slicer, put it on that meat slicer and slice it up. Then I dump it into what I call my jerky jar. It's a large pickle jar that I saved. And in there I put the marinade. Of course, gotta have one very important piece. Worcestershire sauce has to go in there. And after the Worcestershire, then there's the brown sugar, and I always put about half a cup of whiskey in there. You know, makes the meat better. And yeah, I gotta put smoke flavoring. Usually I use a hickory. And put a little cayenne pepper and seasoned salt, seasoned pepper, garlic, all kinds of goodies. Oh yes, a little bit of soy sauce as well. Gotta let it marinate for at least 12 hours.
I know why you put the liquor in there, probably to make that beef stay a little more pleasant in the marinade. Soy sauce probably to start breaking down some enzymes. So 12 hours later, then what?
The part that I hate most. Before I put it in the food dryer, what I do is I lay out a large stretch of paper towel. As I take it out of the marinade, shake it a little bit, drop it on the paper towel, and I'll do that till I get all of it out of the marinade. And then, very judiciously, I pile it up on each tray in my food dryer, and 5 pounds of jerky sliced right around 1/4 of an inch will fill every tray in my food dryer. And then turn it on, and now wait again. And maybe have a couple of beers while I'm waiting. But that's going to take roughly 6 to 8 hours, depending on how thick the meat was.
Oh, and I can just imagine for probably at least 4 of those 6 to 8 hours is the home is filled with the aroma And waiting that time for that jerky to be done, I can imagine 5 pounds would disappear pretty darn quick. Well, thank you for sharing your recipe, and that sounds absolutely wonderful. Slicing your own meat, and sounds like you have the process down. Sounds great, Rick.
Well, it's been working for me for I can't tell you how many years, but I've been doing this a long time, and about once a month I'll make a food dryer full of jerky, and me and my son split it up. We usually end up with a pound each. That's about what gets when you get all the moisture dried out of the meat. And from that point there, it's how long it's going to last. It won't be very long. Well, anyways, I'm glad I was able to share that with you. Y'all have a nice day today. This is KD6CDQ 73s.
I don't know about everybody else listening in this morning, but you got my mouth watering. And I've seen the prices of jerky that even though it's a lot of labor of love, it probably is a good saving over purchasing as well. But nothing beats good homemade jerky and the such. Rick, have a wonderful day. Thanks for checking in. Clearing with KD6CDQ. And good morning to Robert, KO6KMR.
Good morning, Brian. To the group, appreciate you taking my call here this morning. We had our regular Tuesday night meeting for the extra class, and we went through quite a bit of information and got 4 more classes plus a lab and then a review session. So it's on the downhill side, so looking forward to trying that test. A little bit apprehensive at it. There's just a lot to remember, a lot to know, but I will make it through with the help of the class. So other than that, Karen and I are going to go out for breakfast this morning, and then I'll go to the gym after that, which is I'll have to wait a little bit, but then go to the gym after that, and otherwise just have a nice day. Over.
Well, certainly wish you well as you continue to study for the extra exam, and I know that you're using the online testing resources as well, which is a wonderful way to exercise that material and see it in a question format as well. Well, excellent. Well, you and Karen have a wonderful breakfast, and then off to the gym to get rid of a little bit of that breakfast. So have a great day, Robert. Thanks for checking in.
Yeah, thank you very much. And on that, Kilo Oscar 6, Kilo Mike Romeo, I'm just going to listen for a short while and then head off to the breakfast location. Over.
All right. Thanks for dropping by this morning, and you enjoy your morning. Clearing with KO6KMR. Let's check in now with Will. KJ5 Golf Whiskey November. Good morning, Will.
I never thought I would ever say this, but good morning from a rainy Oklahoma City. Yes, I said rainy. We are finally getting some rain here. So hopefully the drought will be done away with. We've got chances of rain today, tomorrow, and Friday and early Saturday. And then it's supposed to put out of here by midday Saturday. So anyway, that's the weather story here. I had some things I had to do Monday and yesterday, so I wasn't able to make it.
the date? Do you happen to know when the last measurable rainfall happened? I know you had a spell of winter, but I think that was just some snow and ice.
Well, the last measurable rain happened back in November before now. So it's been at least that long, maybe longer ago than that. I can't remember.
That is certainly a long spell. So yeah, let's hope everything gets soaked in really well, and let's hope that this is the end of the wildfire season for you. Well, Will, welcome back. Hope you get some good radio time in, and glad that you got everything taken care of. But thanks for checking in this morning. KJ5 Golf Whiskey November, Oklahoma City. You have a wonderful day, Will.
7-3's fine. This is KJ5 Golf Whiskey November. Clear.
All right, Will. Have a wonderful day ahead. Good morning. This is the Coffee Break Net on the W6EK Repeater. And let's see. Let's go ahead and take another round of check-ins. And, at this time we'll just open it up for all check-ins. If you are short on time, please let me know that you want to be a quick in and out. We'll put you at the top of the list. Otherwise, good morning and welcome to the Coffee Break Net. I'm Brian, AI6US. And let's take some more check-ins on this hump day.
KC8, Victor, good morning. KC8FQV.
Hey, V6LUV, good morning.
Kilo 1 Bravo Whiskey Oscar, in and out, no traffic.
Kilo Golf 6, Quebec, Bravo, Bravo.
All right, the last station coming in there, very low audio. Did not catch your prefix. I got a Quebec, Bravo, Bravo. Full call, please.
Kilo Golf 6, Quebec, Bravo, Bravo.
All right. KG6, Quebec, Bravo, Bravo. Good morning to you. K4LGI, good morning to Sam. K1, Bravo, Whiskey, Oscar. We will come back to you for a in and out. This time of the morning, we don't do for the log because we are a conversation net. Good morning, Daniel, N9MUF. And good morning to Brett, KB6LUV. And good morning to Tony, SM6XGP. And good morning to Mark, KC8FQV. Okay, other than K1BWO, was anybody a quick in and out in this list?
SM6XGP putting them up.
All right, so we have Tony, SM6XGP will be in and out also, and so will Sam, K4LGI. All right, did I miss anyone in this list? All right, let's just first check in with Kilo 1 Bravo Whiskey Oscar. Good morning to you, and anything for the net this morning? I know you were just nothing for the net, but hey, we're a conversation net, so I'm going to try to extract something out of you. Oh, I see how Harry plays. Harry cleared. He had his say. All right. Good morning, Tony, SM6XGP. Good morning, and what do you have for the net this morning?
Yeah, good morning, everyone, and good evening over here, SM6XGP. Now, not much for the net. I was on a concert last Friday, and maybe I caught something bad there. And I went down with some cold or flu or something, so I have been off from work this week, and I sound terrible. So therefore I jump in and out. So wish you all a good day. And I made a little change over here, an active loop antenna, which was mounted here in the window in the shack, and I was very disappointed with that. I didn't hear anything on it. And in the weekend here, I moved it out to the balcony and mounted it on the window out there. And it made a big difference. Not much of DX I can catch on it, but lots more. And that's fun. A lot of more Chinese radio stations, of course. And at the moment, I think I have catched Radio Korea here on 12.015 megahertz. So this antenna works very well when you place it in the right position and not in the window in the shack. That don't work. So that's what's going on over here. So with my crappy voice and running nose, I better leave you alone there and continue with the net, Brian. AI6US SM6XGP.
Something that a lot of times people don't consider is the glass is not RF optical, not RF clear. It may be optically clear, but the solar rejection characteristics or the UV rejection characteristics of glass also makes a pretty good RF barrier. So that's something to consider as well. Well, Tony, continue your recovery, and even though you had to take the week off from work, I hope that you did get some enjoyable time for yourself. And continued getting well there. SM6XGP, AI6UF. You have a wonderful day, Tony. 7-3.
Yes, 73 to you and all people here on the net. And a little wink to Simone over there also. And Mark, I heard him in here too. So have a nice day. And I maybe will look for something to eat here. It's dinner time, but I don't know what to get. We will see. Oops. Have a nice day, Brian. 7-3, SM6XGP, clear.
Yeah, that is the coughing sound that you save for when you call in for work. Very well done. Well done. Well, hope you feel better soon. Clearing with the SM6XGP. This is the Coffee Break Net. And let's head on over to Denver now, K4LGI. Good morning, Sam.
Good morning, Brian. Everybody on net here from Denver. Nice sunny day, in the 40s here. You know, after the net yesterday, I tuned around some and on 21.3 for about 20 kilohertz. It was awful, just an awful pile up. And I suspected something was going on, and nobody was getting this guy. You know, they were all calling from Europe and the U.S., and nobody seemed to be getting through. Hundreds of people, and so I had to find out what it was about. And apparently this 3Y0K is still kicking around. And I picked up on DX Watch here, and apparently he'd been on 14.025. There was no pile up there. And I kept listening around, and I went to 18.125, and it was a fairly good pile up. And he apparently had been on 10 megs also. And I think it's close to the end of that expedition. I thought it was just for February. It appears to be hanging on. Anywho, it was after the net, and it was a really unbelievable pileup, and no one was getting through hardly. That's about it from here, Brian. So have a nice weekend there. This is your Friday, I guess. K4LGI.
Yes, it is my Friday. Yeah, Bouvet Island, I believe, is just starting. They came on first. I guess they set up one station during their setup, and they were running FT8 total dog pile up over the weekend. And yeah, Bouvet Island, one of those rare DX locations. I have yet to get to Bouvet in my log, so I'm going to be working on that myself. But I thought I would wait for this early craziness of when the DXpedition first starts, and I just wonder if they will kind of slow down at all. But at this point, there are so many people chasing them. I don't know if you looked at DX Watch, but it looks like they are very well provisioned. Helicopter delivery to shore, unlike the boat in the surf incident for the last expedition. So this one looks very well financed, and their accommodations look very comfortable, sturdy, and I hope that they start making some contacts. That's rough that they're out there, but not getting the contacts yet. Thanks, Sam.
Alrighty, I understand it's close to $1 million they're spending on that thing, and have 2 choppers. And I haven't seen that part of it yet, the photos and all, but I'll hunt around. And it couldn't get any worse than yesterday after net time here, 21.3. I don't know, something. I couldn't even find out the center point. Maybe it's 325, I don't know. Yeah, it's a tough one. I hope you get through there, Brian. It looks like, once again, the people above the equator are really struggling. K4LGI, good day.
Yeah, unfortunately, this rare DX brings out the worst in operators, and yeah, it's kind of frustrating sometimes to work a station when you're trying to, do it by the call, or do it, however the DXpedition operator is calling, and there are just people out there that are oblivious to working split and everything else, or just you have people in the wrong cycle on the digital modes. It's pure crazy. Have a great day, Sam. Thanks for that report. Good to hear that their voice or their phone is coming online. K4LGI, AI6US. You have a wonderful day, Sam. 7-3. And let's head on back and chat with Mark now. Good morning, Mark. KC8FQV.
Morning. KW. Well, we had fog this morning, and it lifted off pretty quick. When I seen it was starting to lift, and it lifted fast. About 9 o'clock, a little after 9, I seen it, and it started lifting by about 9, about quarter to 10 or 10. It was lifting and going pretty much. Yeah, did the second batch of them pills. And I took my regular pills, but I don't take one of them, because I guess it must interfere with the job the other stuff is doing. So I remember to do that. So everything else is going good. Last night we had our nets going, the club net. I stopped over at the RV on their Zoom meeting thing on the RV radio network. They're getting ready to do RVing. Well, they never, the guys never end doing RVing. Just when do you start into the cycle? But they're going to Hamfest and other things, doing all kinds of lots of things to do out there. We got Hamfest coming this weekend. Yeah, I said yesterday I had the COVID, so we started doing the stuff and that. You guys were talking about having key-ups on Fireside. That's not no new thing. We have them occur on the Beacon Net at Sunday night and Wednesday night when it connects. At times that thing just keys up whenever. So that's nothing new. I don't know. I guess some people just don't think they gotta babysit their equipment. Off at night because there was people doing stuff on the repeater and he didn't want to sit and babysit it all night, so he put the sleep at 11 or 11:30. He put 015 to sleep for the night. 147 015 has a footprint. It can cover a 90-mile radius. 90 miles out from it you can get. So he would just put it to sleep at night, 11:30, 12 o'clock at night, shut it down, and about 6 in the morning or whenever, he would bring it back alive because people couldn't behave themselves, so he just did that, and he didn't have to babysit it. But I guess there's other people think they don't got to babysit their equipment. And they leave other people do it, and then, where you just blacklist it, put it on the blacklist, and it can't connect. But, everything else is going good. Yeah, I really headache. Now it's gone down when I cough. The stomach aches now when I cough. So I'm moving around. So we'll just find out what happens in 5 days, so we'll stop by tonight on some of the nets and that. And so I'll send it back to the net, case FQV.
Well, I actually think that Fireside does make a good effort to control the traffic. You know, the problem is it's such a high traffic website, and it bridges different modes, and you know, you have people that are trying to come in with the digital mode and everything, and which has excessive processing times, you know, hang times on that. So, no, I definitely feel that Fireside does do a very good attempt, and we've had some good conversations with him, and he's been trying to implement some technology to cut back on the kerchunk, so that's very much appreciated. You know, out our way, we have a repeater very notorious in the Sacramento Valley and into San Francisco that is just a cesspool. There's no better way to put it, and unfortunately, the trustee doesn't care, hasn't cared for years, and it is the most disgusting cesspool of operators you've ever heard in your life, and they just let it run. And you know, sorry to say it, but in this case, I believe that trustees should be held responsible for violations, and you know, if you're not going to control your repeater, that frequency should be surrendered. And in this case here, it's just one of these places that we all know about, and we just avoid. But it's very unfortunate. But I think you know, for that operator in your area to shut it down, completely within his right to do so at midnight when he's not going to be monitored. And you know, that certainly should be something that have been done on other repeaters instead of just letting them go unchecked. RVNet, you know, you mentioned that, and of course a lot of people are coming back from Quartzsite, so I don't think there's really a RV season to be had. You have people coming home right now, and yep, we're starting the Hamfest season. All right, Mark, back over to you for a final there, and I hope you have a wonderful day ahead now that the fog.
Okay. Yeah, that one, the guy here, and I think he sort of don't want to have all the multi-modes on the main repeater 3.9 because of all of the different time sets in it. We have a 440 machine that has digital stuff. I think what it does, whatever digital mode is keyed up, then, yeah, good luck. You know, when the car floods and you have these micro switches, yeah, you ain't gonna get them to straighten up. You know, it's basically done for. When I was at the office, I was looking and said, geez, these cars, you don't really, I don't even know how a junkyard does them anymore. Because basically the car was all metal, you know, so they just, you know, get, you know, the scrap and that. But now so much of the car is plastic, it's like, yeah, well, they can get the metal out, but there's so much fluff, you know, plastic, you know. Well, they can recycle plastic, but if you don't know what category to put it in, because, you know, there's 1s and 2s, 3s and 4s, you know, you don't know which one to put it in. You know, yeah, it's an interesting life we have out there. But I guess it's going to be what it's going to be. Maybe someday things will get straightened up, but we'll set it back away and leave you go along the way. And yeah, camping, it just evolves around the world, around the clock it does. It just changes seasons and new things come into the new seasons and things leave for the while. So we'll get back away and KC at FQV.
All right, Mark. Well, you have a wonderful day ahead, and you enjoy the nets later on today. Thanks for checking in. Clearing with KC8 FQV, and let's check in and see what Mark is up to today. Excuse me, what Brett is up to today. KB6 LUV. Good morning, Brett.
Good morning, Brian and Coffee Break Net land. Hope everybody's out there having a good day. That orange ball in the sky has made its appearance here in South Natomas, which I'm happy about. A little sad, though, because, you know, Mom's is not here this morning. So, Mom, I think you might be out there listening. Good morning. Back in Newton, Kansas. He's back to being relinquished to a listener. And definitely I'm not probably going to get her to get a license. Hi. But she thoroughly enjoyed her time out here. She really enjoyed taking part of talking on the Coffee Break Net and doing the fox hunt. So she had a great time. And I really look forward to having her back out here again. Love you, Mom. Miss you, Mom. Other than that, not a whole lot going on here. We are just doing the normal data center recruiting stuff today. And I probably get out and maybe get a scoot on Little Red later on today because it's very nice weather. So, oh, and Brian, thanks for the email. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. All right. Well, I think that's about it. I'm going to keep this short and sweet. So with that, I will turn it back to you, Brian. AI6US KB6LUV. You of love. 73. Clear and listening.
Yeah, before anybody thinks that we're exchanging illicit love notes. Yeah, no. Brett is shopping for a Fox transmitter, and he had a couple models he was looking at and wanted to find out my thoughts, being I'd been kind of around both of them. And so, yeah, it's great to own your own Fox transmitter, and you can kind of practice on your own property or set up your own fox hunt and get to know your equipment even better there. So definitely, you're looking at some good equipment there, Brett. Well, good morning to Bonnie. Sounds like Bonnie made it back home to Kansas just fine, and we certainly enjoyed meeting Bonnie, and we'll look forward to the next time that our paths cross. Until then, have a wonderful day, and thanks for checking in this morning, Brett.
My pleasure, sir. Always a part of my day. A really good part of my day. So, again, everybody else out there in Coffee Break Net land, have a blessed day. Take care. KB6 LUV, clear.
All right, clearing with Brett, KB6 LUV, and let's check in with Daniel now in 9MUF. Good morning, Daniel.
Good morning, Brian in the net. Coffee Break Net, eh? Well, unfortunately, my coffee cup is broken.
Yeah, that's what happens when you have a cat and you put something too near the edge of the table.
Oh, this is worse. I looked in it, and it's empty.
Hate to say it, that's not broken. It is repairable, but I know you were waiting for your turn to jump in and check in. Oh well, we'll just have to put up with whatever caffeinated level you are this morning. Good morning, Daniel. What's for the net this morning?
Having a good, though slightly unmotivated day so far, but still managing to get stuff done. I think I need to find my motivation at some point. I've got an interview this afternoon, was connecting with a recruiter back and forth over the last week, and we finally got everything arranged. So looking forward to that. It's FedRAMP DevOps, which is right up my alley. And got the CW contact in a little earlier, running on 20 meters for VAR AC Wednesday. Already did that check-in as well and handled some traffic for some other people. So far, a good radio day.
All right. Once again, you've laid down the challenge for some of us to get involved in VAR AC Wednesday. And yeah, I do participate quite often in the WinLink net check-in. I need to put it on my to-do list for sure. Well, excellent. Good to be not only just sending in a message, but helping being part of that forwarding process.
It's always a pleasure. I might want to set up a separate email address to handle the receiving portion of it. I've noticed, in my opinion, there are still some bugs in the process. I've got to collate a bug report and send it up to IRAD, but other than that, the whole process works well. Let's see what else. Installed Pat this morning on the Linux box finally. Found a good repo to manage it. I always prefer to install to user bin rather than user local bin if I can help it. But getting it configured so that I'll be ready to... The plan on Monday is to do a CW POTA, but we'll have the laptop there just in case. And the other thing we're going to have, the ARRL for a $3 radiogram pad, 50 radiograms, wanted to charge me $9 in shipping and taxes. And my wife and I both said, ain't going to happen.
So, you took the one that's available online and
printed out a metric ton of them, and my wife bound them together. So it looks exactly like the ones that they wanted to charge me $12 for. And a very professional binding that she did on it. And we'll take it out to the field on Monday and see what happens. I doubt we'll get any radiograms first thing, but it's always good to get it set up and see what people... You know, I figure if you don't take it... if you're not ready for it, they can't do it.
Well, excellent. That is great. Very nice what a wonderful way to interact with people who stop by and, hey, what are you doing over there? Well, excellent. Let's see. I did something that might make you very proud of me, or you'll say about time.
Or both. Never forget the power of and. What was it?
Well, yesterday I was picking up a bunch of equipment that was being donated to the club for the Ham Fest, and there were just a stack of laptops, and most of them just looked like they were testing laptops, had never been released really for sale or anything because of the stickers on them. Brand new almost, and so I saw one of them, an NV17 3D. Older technology, but I thought, this is a perfect candidate to install Linux on. So yes, yesterday evening, Lynn helped me, and we installed Zorin. I know, kind of a beginner Linux from what I read, but I installed Zorin on it. Had a little problems with with the acceleration, GPU accelerator. So I read up on how to disable that in the applications, and now pretty nice laptop running Linux. I know. Your response is well about time.
Actually, not at all. I have never been one of these people who believes that Linux is the one true OS. Okay, except maybe in server rooms, but I will have I both have a security and a functional bias there. But since in my own shack I'm looking at a Macintosh laptop, a Windows desktop, and I am logged into quite a few Linux boxes on VNC and shell sessions. So I've never been one. Anytime that anybody goes down, this is the only laptop that you can use. I wonder if they're actually on their medication.
Well, thank you. You made me feel better about my life choices then up to this point. Now, absolutely. I mean, the real estate on this thing, in its day, it was an expensive unit, and I just loaded up with a bunch of RAM, and I thought, just for this to be sitting on a ham swap with no battery, no power supply, it's gonna sit there, and somebody's gonna offer $5 for it. And I looked at it, not a scratch on it. Looks like it just got pulled out of a box, and I went, this looks like something. So I have turned it into what we're going to use for our VE sessions to manage, because all we need is a good browser, good internet connection with Wi-Fi, and this thing is snappy.
And that's where Linux definitely excels. It can be a bit intimidating because unlike Windows, which says this is your desktop, there are so many options. I'll admit, when it comes to me and desktops, my desktop looks like a shell, because it usually is. And I got my son one time on a POTA. I had been using a desktop LXDE, and he liked the feel of it and the look, and I switched to a lighter weight window manager, not a desktop environment, so much more lightweight. And I've had a Windows XP lookalike for that in my back pocket for years, so I got it all configured and started it up on him, and when we loaded into the desktop, he looked at it and did a few double takes and then looked at me and, Dad, are we still running Linux?
I must say, the implementation, at least on Zorin, feels very familiar to someone who's, I've been a Windows guy for a number of years now, having moved over from Mac, probably somewhere around, 12 to 15 years ago. And I must say, this implementation of Linux is very comfortable, but then in order for that GPU lockup, I had to disable it by launching terminal. And I looked over to Lynn and I said, this is why a lot of people are afraid of Linux. And went in there and disabled the GPU so I could launch the program, so then I could disable the GPU acceleration so it would run right. But yeah, it would totally freak out. But it's because of the age of the machine, nothing else. But quite lovely, and I think it's going to be a very purpose-driven, a very good device. I'm going to go ahead and invest in a battery for it and give it a new life. Probably the carrying case will be the most expensive part of it.
I understand that. My Linux laptop that I use downstairs when I'm watching TV and needing to be online, that was a laptop that a friend of mine gave to me and asked me to wipe the hard drive and dispose of it. And I said, well, I can wipe the hard drive, and if you don't mind me using it, that'll be how I'll dispose of it. And it was a throwaway. The other one was a Windows 7 laptop that I'd picked up from a friend of mine years ago for $100. And both of those are running Gen 2, but again, I'm, as you figured out, a bit of a Linux geek. I like to tweak things so that I'm doing it my way. But that's the beautiful thing again. I'm allowed to do that. I can hack things so that they're working the way I want to. And if you don't want to go that deep, there are a lot of good Linux distros out there that will hold your hand or allow you to install a ton of amateur radio operations. I found a good repository for amateur radio for Gen 2, and that helped with getting PAT installed. And one bit of advice that I'll throw out at you is if you're wanting to just really conserve power and everything, there's a good web browser called Vivaldi that I use when I'm out in the field, just because it uses far less power, it's far less intensive than Chrome or anything else you could install on it.
Okay, I think I copied Vivaldi as the browser. Yeah, the Brave that was loaded on it, blah, nothing special. I loaded Chrome on it just because I was familiar with it, and neither Chrome nor Brave worked without the GPU acceleration, so I disabled it on both, and it's quite functional, but I think I copied Vivaldi.
Think Four Seasons.
Oh, now you got me thinking about a video that I once edited to Four Seasons. Yeah, I used to do a lot of take the professional cameras out and shoot video on my days off and so I went out and I made it a purpose to go out and shoot scenics for all Four Seasons. So that was a year-long project, edited to, yes, Vivaldi. Okay, I will check that out. Resource light, but probably enough to get into ham tools.
Absolutely enough to get into ham tools. It's what I use to access ham clock when I'm out on a POTA, and it's also what I use for the POTA posting. So flexible enough, handles modern protocols, modern websites very well without being overly onerous about it.
Well, thank you for the recommendation. I will give it a try, download it, and maybe if it has CPU acceleration, maybe it will work with a lighter weight package there. All right. Well, thank you, Daniel. I thought that I would either impress you today or receive counseling from you, but yeah, I honestly just was a bit hesitant to take a working laptop that still was working for me and running ham apps and move it over to Linux, but with a beautiful Linux laptop there just sitting as a candidate, I could not resist. And it was less, I'm just going to be honest with you. Why start now, you say? But doing a Linux install of this Orion was very speedy. I did one update after the install. I think the install and the update, if it took any more than 45 minutes, I would be lying.
And that's the beautiful thing about about the Linux OS is that a lot of the machines that would wind up in the recycling bin or worse, we can keep them alive, keep using them, and not have to spend dollars for new laptops when we don't need them.
Now, if only our favorite programs ran on Linux. That's the thing, I look at this laptop and go, man, if only I could run N3FJP and some of the other things that I like using without running dual boot and all this other stuff. So, well, the time will come when amateur radio merges with Linux a little more smoothly.
Then I will introduce you to another rabbit hole. There's a program all out there called Wine, which is a Windows emulator. Emulates the libraries, and I use that for quite a few things. I've run Echolink on it. I have run a few other things on it. It runs on. I use it on both my Mac and my Linux boxes, and it is registered, I think, to have run very well with your logging program. That's also the emulation program that I'm trying to get to work on my Mac and get it to play nice with the COM ports. Took a break from that, but yeah, the Windows world isn't completely closed to Linux.
I was exposed to Wine back in my Macintosh days, so I am familiar with that, but have not used it for years. All right, Daniel, well, good morning to you. Better get down to another check-in here, but always a pleasure. And you have a absolutely wonderful Wednesday hump day ahead.
Should be a wonderful day. Cloudy here, chilly, but like I said, got an interview at 3, so here's hoping it goes well. And just remember, what makes wine run better is if for every time that you work with it, pour a glass first. 7-3 to you in the net, Brian, and 9 MUF.
And your humor is good, too. All right, go take care of that broken coffee cup. In 9 MUF AI6US. Have a great day. Clearing with Daniel. And, boy, this call sign, I am going to have to get it in phonetics. This morning I copied as KG6QBB. Let's get it in phonetics if you're still with us.
KG6QBB, Kilo, Golf 6, Quebec, Bravo, Bravo.
All right, Kilo Golf 6, Quebec, Bravo, Bravo. That would be Alex. So, yeah, yesterday I heard a different call sign, and I wrote it down as Bob or Robert out of Auburn. I said, that's not right. Well, good morning, and welcome to the net this morning. What do you have for the net?
Good morning to you. I am going to take a quick jab at Daniel. As it turns out, I do run Gen 2 kernel, and I had to jab at him for calling wine an emulator. That is absolutely hilarious.
Okay, let me hear 2 Linux users duke it out. Over to your corner, Daniel. I bet she ran off to fix that broken coffee cup. Okay, so explain to me, because I always thought of a, at least installed on a Mac, that it basically was doing some sort of emulation so I could run my other programs. So tell me more.
If he pops back up, he'll get a kick out of it. Wine, W-I-N-E, stands for Wine is not an emulator. It is actually a compatibility layer.
Got it. Then I got a text from K6BSY, wine sucks, and I just want to get a clarification from him if he was referring to the computer type or the type that he buys at the 99-cent store to drink.
W6JCZ 9 MUF.
There we go. Daniel resurfaced. And go ahead with your comment first there, Jim.
I agree with the person that texted you. Wine is an absolute hack, and this is why I still keep a couple of Windows machines around, even though I call myself a Linux guy. Wine is it's a hack, and I don't recommend it to anyone who wishes to live in sanity. W6JCZ back from that.
Ooh, those are fighting words. Over to you, Daniel.
No, technically, I know it's not an emulator, but it does a lot of what we would think that an emulator would do, in the same way that I see people calling containers full-grown machines. But for what it tries to do, it does, in my opinion, very well. You just got to accept the limitations. Sometimes it plays well, sometimes it doesn't. And if you want to go a little more hardcore, run VirtualBox and run a licensed Windows emulation. So, no, I know that it was in good fun, and if you will, yeah, technically I'm wrong, functionally I'm still right. But that's the tricky thing with a lot of Linux stuff, is it's that way. I've used Gen 2 for, oh my God, over 30 years, I think, at this point, and I'm still very happy with it, but I'm not tied down to one particular OS. 7.3 and 9MUF.
Well, very good. So there you go, Alex. Daniel got the joke, but this has turned into almost a fist fight. Over to you, Alex.
Nope, not even close. I've been running Linux distros, including Gen 2, for 20, 22, 23 years. I absolutely believe that Wine is a hack. I still run Windows boxes for CAD development and modeling, but I just couldn't resist the jab since he called Wine an emulator, being that is the acronym.
Understood. Now that I have been let in and told the inside joke. Don't you hate explaining jokes to people like me? Well, very good, Alex. Well, good morning to you. What do you have for the net this morning?
Not much. I was actually running unfortunately running a Windows box here, doing some CAD work, computer drafting work, setting up a couple of models that I'm working on, and drinking a cup of coffee.
What type of design work do you do?
I do machining, but related. I've just started a disc cone antenna, just as a side project, but primarily machining, and then solid models in pretty much any CAD package out there.
All right. Do you do your own machining? Do you have machines on location, or are you designing projects for shops?
I do all of the above. Have CNC mills and turning centers here. I have manual mills and turning centers here. And Jason zeros, as the machinists say.
Yeah, I grew up near Seattle, and of course, half the kids I went to school with, their dads had backyard machine shops cranking out a widget for Boeing. So kind of grew up in that era, but of course that was a slide rule and a very manual. I don't ever recall seeing a CAD until many years later, integration. Very cool. Tell me about the disc cone you're building. What frequency of coverage?
So, knowing nothing about Seattle, that is tongue-in-cheek, I was born in Seattle and used to Boeing surplus. Used to frequent Boeing surplus for all sorts of junk.
Yes, yeah. No, I lived in Auburn, so grew up in, I was born up in Monroe, so near the Everett plant, but yeah, grew up down in Auburn. And so, that whole Kent, Renton area is filled with backyard machine shops, or was, not anymore.
Yes, I am very familiar with the area. It still has quite a bit of backyard machine shops. One of my buddies, semi-local here, actually did some work up there, and he picked up a vertical turning center, vertical lathe, and he has it set up in Lake County. And it's an interesting piece of machinery to behold.
Amazing how much Boeing would pump into the local economy up there. One of my highest paying jobs when I was in high school was a couple days a week, and then on weekends I would go in and refinish windows for Boeing. A neighbor had a contract to refinish and take out the craze marks and take them down until they reached a minimum specification, and rework them several times. And yeah, you know, as a teenager in the 80s, being able to, you know, do a nice, quick, good job and walk away $25, $30 an hour. You just wish there were more days that you could work over doing it. But very good. What part of the area did you live in?
Born, lived all over the area, but my childhood home was on in a spot called Queen Anne Hill.
Yeah, very familiar with that area. Well, very good. Good to hear of that tie into the Northwest. And, you know, Queen Anne Hill definitely gave you good access to, I imagine you spent probably a many Saturday nights like me ripping open ketchup packets and throwing them off the Space Needle.
I was a little more into things that would get me into a little more trouble, unfortunately.
Those things do abound, don't they? Well, very good, Alex. Well, let's find out a little bit about this discone antenna. Is this going to be a VHF unit, or are you going for an HF big build?
It's kind of an odd project. It's going to be a VHF, small VHF build, a little bit larger than the 220R, but more of a showpiece.
All right, showpiece rather than performance. Could you briefly describe? I mean, is it going to be using rod radials, or what design elements are you going for?
No, performance will be primary, but with the showpiece in mind, it will be rod radials. It will be solid brass and copper with stainless accents.
My. And then, of course, clear-coated and buffed out and clear-coated. It's, boy, sounds like one of those keys that people keep under plexiglass on their desk. Excellent. And where will you be showing this off at? And it doesn't sound like it's going to be anything that you're going to try letting blend into the forest.
It'll eventually probably be a mobile mount just for gags. But I have multiple keys that I've built that are sitting around here, all the way up to multiple cylinder steam engines and all sorts of weird, stupid garbage. It's kind of what you do when you sit and program a CNC machine and then sit and watch and do quality control on a CNC machine and have nothing better to do in the shop while the CNC machines are running.
Well, it sounds like you make good use of the time there. Very cool. Well, yeah, I kind of was joking for a while that you could tell anybody who worked at Ham Radio Outlet, because they did have that rooftop mobile-mounted disc cone, but it sounds like you are going to take that up to a whole new level. Yeah. Very interesting. not a high gain antenna, but certainly broadbanded. Well, Alex, thanks for checking in this morning. And anything else for the net?
No, just kicking around here. I am currently on a FT2980 on a 220R disc cone, switching between the disc cone and a super gainer on the mobile unit right now.
All right. Yeah, I do know that the 220R, I think on VHF is like a 1.5 dB over isotropic. So, so it is better than a dummy load. But it really, as you know, the antenna choice depends a lot on your terrain and your what you're trying to work. Definitely, I think that would be a great antenna for a nice radiation pattern, I imagine, on the VHF frequencies.
Well, as it turns out, where I am currently sitting is in Rockland. Our rate of propagation here, pardon the expression, sucks. So frequently here I switch from the disc cone to the super gainer and run the disc cone for a scanner.
Well, I just looked at our voting system, and you're coming in full scale, both to Rockland and to Mountaintop in Auburn. So you must be pretty close to in South Rockland. I would probably put you a good line of sight Sierra College area.
I'm not too far from that. Actually, the tabletop mountain is directly behind me. So yes, you're not too far off. Usually I'm bouncing, and not too far from here, I'm bouncing off at Georgetown too.
Yeah. Nothing into Georgetown right now this morning, but definitely you're getting in fine. Well, Alex, thanks for checking in this morning, and thanks for sharing a little bit about your passions, your projects, and a little bit of the history there. So I appreciate you stopping by this morning.
Hoo-yah. Always a pleasure. Thank you, Brian. Take care, Daniel. Best to the net. 73.
Yeah, and I think those scars from your joke to Daniel will heal quickly. That was funny now that I know the inside on that. Have a great day. Thanks. It was KG6QBB. I'm AI6US. This is the Coffee Break Net. And we're just at the 9 o'clock hour right now. So let's go ahead and move over and let's do a quick round of in and outs. Maybe you're short on time this morning, but want to say a quick hello. That's what this time is for. So good morning. Welcome to the Coffee Break Net. Any quick in and outs?
Good morning, everyone. Alpha India 6 Delta Golf.
KA6UAI.
KO6TH, good morning.
KQ4SDX.
Well, good morning to Kathy, KQ4SDX, and good morning, Greg, KO6TH. Good morning, Ron, KA6UAI, and good morning to Dave, K6DCL, and good morning to Joel, AI6DG. I saw somebody, let's see, I guess that's it. Nobody else came up on Supermon. Did I miss anyone?
KI6TC, JB6ED.
Well, that didn't sound like KI6TC. All I heard was KB6ED. Is my hearing going?
No, you heard good. And good morning, Brian.
Well, you and Ed sound so much alike. Pretty soon you're going to be looking alike as well. Boy, we have family reunion happening in this check-in. Hey, let's head up to the top. Just a reminder, these are quick in and outs. Let's keep it 2 minutes and up. And good to hear you in, Joel. AI6DG.
Thoroughly enjoying the drive in and enjoying the weather. The first brief season between wet, dreary, and overcast, and hot and oven-like. I'm really enjoying this season, as short as it may be. Enjoying the new ICOM IC905. The transmitter finally came in. I still need a little bit of cabling. And I need to figure out antennas. What the heck is there available for 2.4 gig, 5 gig, and 10 gig antennas? And not to mention feed line at those frequencies.
Yeah, something that you mount right up on the antenna. Yeah, I do not go above 1.2 on any of my radios. So, I have of course, the tri-band Omni that everyone has, GP, I think 95, and then I have a 24-element Yagi, and then I have a couple of loops, horizontal loops, stacked loops for 1.2. But yeah, what are the options, Joel, for if you want to cover those bands? All independent antennas?
Probably, although I'm not sure. I mean, I've got a couple of really big rabbit holes to fall down in when it comes to research. Right now I've got a tri-band for the lower three, 2 meter, 70 centimeter, 23 centimeter. Very tempting to get it, now pick up a 705, although I don't need another transceiver. But it would make an interesting matched pair to cover all the way from 160 meter up to whatever 10 gig is. I don't something really short. Everything except 900 and 220.
Well, I kind of took the approach for the VHF contest and kind of filled in the center, so I now have 220 and 900 covered for the next June contest. But yeah, I think your location is definitely, if I had a better location for coverage, I would look at the higher bands. But for me, here in Meadow Vista, kind of down in the basin, it would only be something that I could only use during VHF contest or when I left the valley to operate. Well, excellent. Yeah, definitely let us know what you find. Probably at those frequencies, it's going to need to be something that's either Yagi or parabolic, and probably a high gain and high as you can get it in the air. I don't even know if people use omnidirectionals on those higher frequencies.
ICOM has a set of collinears that are cute little things, less than a foot tall for those bands. I think one of the niches that the 905 is directing is portable use, where you can just all mount it onto a mast or tripod and drag that to a mountaintop somewhere on contest weekend. Anyway, on to the next person, not take up too much time. AI6DG, back to net.
All right, Joel. Always an interesting conversation when you stop by, and you have a safe commute there. And thanks for dropping in. Let us know what you end up going with. AI6DG, AI6US Coffee Break Net. Good morning, Dave. K6DCL.
Good morning, Brian. K6DCL here. Real quick one. Yesterday was my first day on the Yaesu TDX 10, and I love it. It is a good performer, relatively easy to learn, even with all those buttons, and I can get my fingers in between everything, so it works for me. Yay. And I have them lined up. I have my 3185 on the second shelf, and my FTDX10 on the second shelf next to it, with a few inches in between. So anyway, that's a good thing. I'm loving it, and I now have to get another antenna up in the air, but I have a couple of friends that are going to help do that and design it, actually. He's an engineer. Anyway, other than that, I just wanted to say hello and good morning to you, and have a great week, and we'll talk to you on Monday. I hope. And I hope I still have good news on the FTX D10. I'm trying to learn how to say it faster. FTDX10. K6DCL. Talk to you later. Smitty 3.
That's funny. I found that radio to be quite the mouthful when I tell people that I have one as well. The letters just don't flow out as easily as other rigs, do they? Well, you have a wonderful day, Dave. Day 2 and still enjoying the FTDX10. That's saying something for Dave. You make up your opinions, and they're usually pretty right off the get-go. Good morning to you. Good morning to Lucy, and you have a wonderful day ahead. The beautiful blue skies that I talked about when the net started are gone, replaced by thick grayish clouds, and the sun is gone. Weather be a changin'. Have a great day, Dave. K6DCL, AI6US 73. Hey, good morning, Ron. KA6UAI.
KA6UAI. Oh, sorry, I missed my earlier check-in. I had a phone call and dog pill time and all kinds of commotion going on. So, and Lori's off to work on financial things over in the East Bay, or over in the Peninsula area for her dad's estate. So, it's been a busy morning. But anyway, I thought I would check back in and say hello to everyone. And if I don't trip over the hump, I'll get past hump day and walk on down into the weekend instead of sliding and rolling. Everyone have a great rest of the week, and I'm going to get back to work. KA6UAI 73.
Yeah, I've heard it all now, Ron. The dog pill, probably the worming pill, more important than the coffee break net. I'm just kidding. No, we thought you probably got a phone call or something that pulled you away to make money rather than the hobby. It's a tough decision. You have a wonderful day there, Ron. Thanks for checking in. KA6UAI 73. All right. Good morning, Greg. KO6TH. What do you have for the net this morning?
Good morning, Brian. Good morning to the net. Greg, KO6TH. Yeah, it was a lovely morning out for a while. It's getting a little cloudy. Solar's down. Well, it's still getting 60 watts down from the sky, but that'll drop. Yesterday was a semi-success. Depends how you define that. Spent the day on the boat working on, mostly ended up working on the electrical system, getting all the ground wires untangled from the rat's nest that were in behind the panel. So that was good. But I could not find the source of the leak for the water in the bilge. I sprayed the hose all over things, really shot it at the windows and stuff. Nothing came in. I don't know. There's a guy that lives on his boat. He's like 2 slips down from mine, and he says, yeah, it rained from every direction last week. The last time it rained, it was coming, blowing everywhere, and so he's not surprised. He says, well, that's what those pumps are for. So I don't know. Maybe, I can't fix something I can't reproduce. So yeah, we'll see what happens. Maybe by next fall we'll figure something out. Anyway, tonight is the Astronomy Club general meeting for March. We've got a speaker from NASA coming. feeling a little under the weather, so I hope he's going to be okay for a presentation. Coming in over, I'm not even sure where he's located, but talking about the reducing the risk of, increasing independence for deep space travel. Like, if something happens, like on the space station recently, you're hours from getting back down to Earth. If you're on your way to Mars, it's 2 years to come back. So, a different set of trade-offs and priorities and stuff when you design a mission like that. So we'll hear about that tonight. Anyway, today, K6TH.
Yeah, the NASA way of doing business certainly has changed in the recent years, and I saw a kind of a breakdown of the Artemis failure. And, Artemis, of course, was kind of a NASA handed over the specs and relied on contractor to provide something that met spec. And when it came down to it, this was a project that NASA really didn't have a lot of benchmarks along the way, and it really came to nip them.
Yeah, some of the things I'm reading about Artemis, I wouldn't go up on these things anyway, but it's a little scary. Where some of the faults are. It seems like they're coming back to the old behavior of schedule and edicts from above, and not really doing not listening to the engineers and doing careful designs and that kind of stuff. So we'll see what happens. Fingers crossed and stuff. I know they rolled it back into the assembly building for retrofit. So hopefully they'll get it right. And but yeah, it's a little spooky, a little scary. When you think about heading out to the moon, and yeah, you're 3 days out and 3 days back, I think it is. So it's a distance there. You can't just pull over to the side of the road and put the car up on jacks and replace a tire. It's quite a bit a different environment out there. Anyway, we'll hear what he has to say tonight, and anybody interested, we meet at the library. Up in Nevada City, the Madeline Helling Library, at 7 o'clock. And we have a dinner beforehand at the Asian Garden Restaurant, Grass Valley. K6TH, back to you, Ryan.
All right, well, good luck tracking down the source of water in the bilge. One thing that came to mind, I don't know, if you saw evidence of any leakage underneath your portals. But, there are so many other sources of things, from access to lockers to, your stays, hard to say. But, a friend of mine had actually taken some tissue paper and had taped it to around areas that he suspected that water might be entering in. And, it was very effective at identifying the source, where the tissue paper was destroyed. He wasn't, around his boat during some of these weather events, but, the torn, and we're not talking toilet paper streamers. He used, like the lightweight Christmas wrapping tissue, and very effective for identifying the source of water ingress. So hopefully you can track that down. Greg, have a wonderful day and a great astronomy meeting this evening. KO6TH, AI 6US Coffee Break, 7-3.
Yeah, thanks for the suggestion. I already had left a paper towel in the corner, and it was sopping wet. So yesterday I looked at the same place. I could not get water into the boat anywhere, and including in that spot where I had seen it before. So I don't know. I'm hoping maybe the wind was blowing just the wrong direction, kind of sucked water in somewhere. That just simply spraying the hose wasn't enough. But no panic, the boat's still floating. KS6TH 73. I'll talk to you later.
All right, yeah. The thing about of course, the paper towels and such is they just, either soaking wet or they've dried out. And a lot of times, if you can lay a trace of paper, you can actually see on the paper because it breaks through so quickly to kind of identify, a path. Good luck on that. KO6TH, AI6US. Hey, good morning, Kathy. KQ4STX, the first of the family. Check in.
Good morning, Brian, Annette, Dad, and Ed. Brian, I tried to sit out on my porch and enjoy some coffee this morning, but there was a steady, cool breeze, maybe even call it wind. I don't know, it was so bird cold. I couldn't enjoy it this morning, but I tried. But I sat on the porch for a second, sipping my coffee, and looked at my bird feeder, and I've got a situation. My squirrel buddy, Stretch, I named him Stretch because he has to stretch up from the railing up to the bird feeder that hangs, and to get his little treat. I don't mind him along with the birds, but I used to buy what my dad taught me, expensive sunflower hearts. It would last about a week, and he loved those, but it got expensive, so I decided, well, I'm going to buy pushes out everything else onto the porch, and I have a small little bead seed, making a huge mess and draining the bird feeder within the day, even half a day. It's naughty. It's terrible.
Well, there are two things that we can do to Stretch. One of them might be he might make a nice pelt. The other thing is, there's some great Robert has made some great videos on turning it into a complete exercise and course for him to get to the seed. Boy, I love the name though, Stretch. I've seen many squirrels stretching to get into those feeders. Guess you're going to have to get a little creative and maybe just put out the gold standards for Stretch.
Yeah, you make me laugh. Always, Brian, you make me laugh. You sound like my husband. He has ideas. I thought about maybe getting some of that black seed and make him work for it, because I enjoy watching him work for it, because he'll eat one at a time rather than stuffing his cheeks. But, yeah, I thought about putting a little bowl down below the feeder of all the good stuff, and maybe he'll leave the other stuff alone. I don't know. I'll have to give a report on where we head with this. But I'm leaving the feeder empty this morning, and he's not too happy with me. The other thing I wanted to comment on or offer up, I'm going to learn how to dehydrate my sourdough starter, and I know someone has said that they needed a starter or wanted a starter, and if they're on the air and hear this and they want some starter, I'm going to experiment with drying it and I can ship it. So anyone who's interested, let me know.
Well, thank you for that offer. Ryan, W6EK, his wife made us a sourdough starter, and things went great for the first feeding. Things kind of went downhill from there, and I killed it. How do you kill sourdough starter? I did. I would really appreciate a dry sourdough starter, so let me be a guinea pig. I would put it to use.
Okay, you got it, Brian. And you're not the first to kill starter. I've done it several times. And in fact, sadly, very sadly, I can get more. But I had 100-year-old starter, and actually probably more than 100-year-old, but for certain 100-year-old starter, and I killed it, and it just broke my heart.
Kind of like the guy that, I think I'm going to trim that tree in the orchard that my great-granddaddy planted. Yeah, then you end up with firewood and nothing more. Well, good morning to you there, Kathy. And before I let you go, I know these are quick in and outs, but what sourdough starter, well, keeping it, inert, I guess, until it's revitalized.
Yeah, I just did a search on Google search and came up with a website. Let's see, ca.broad or broad BRODAN Taylor TAYLOR.com, and I like the picture, so I thought, because they got a little cute jar full of the dehydrated sourdough, but I haven't even learned yet. I'm going to learn. But spreading it out and putting it in an oven, dehydrate at 88 degrees. I don't know if I could do it in my oven. 4 to 6 hours, 31 degrees Celsius. Yeah, I'm going to learn. But I'll get it to you, Brian, and anyone else who requests it. I am on QRZ. They can send me an email. I wanted to let you know that this is organic sourdough starter. It's only been organic flour that's been used, and I purchased that at the farmer's storehouse that I told you about.
Well, great. No, many of the weeds out there just they do not react very well, just because of the harvesting technique. So that's very cool. Good to hear, and I will look forward to giving that a try. And cool. Thank you very much, Kathy. And anyone else out there, we're talking with KQ4SDX, Kathy, and probably a postcard in a self-addressed envelope, and you might get I imagine it's going to be a hard biscuit, so don't think it's something to nibble on.
Yeah, it looks like potato chips, little broken up potato chips. But rehydrating it is I think pretty simple. It should be pretty simple. But anyway, I look forward to sending this to you, Brian, and I'll include two sourdough pancake recipes. One is my favorite, who the gentleman gave me, my dear friend, gave me the 100-year-old sourdough starter. It's poppy hotcakes that we traditionally make on Sundays. That recipe, and then my girlfriend just found a recipe that's so good. It's so tasty. So two different recipes I'll send you with your dehydrated starter.
Well, thank you. You know, it's something that I don't make that often, sourdough pancake, but I love the opposing flavors that you get on sourdough pancakes. I mean, you get that kind of that bitterness out of the flapjack, and then you counteract that with a ton of butter and some real maple syrup. Oh man, I am still an hour off from breakfast. You're making it pretty difficult for me there, Kathy. Have a wonderful day. Hope you had a great Taco Tuesday. Doug and I sure had a great time at Taqueria La Herradura yesterday. KQ4SDX, AI6US. Always a pleasure, Kathy.
Brian, Taco Tuesday was fantastic, and I won the card game. It was fun. But my spread of Spanish rice and all the works, it was so good. And seeing my friends always so good. But I want to say that Poppy's cakes are similar to what my dad introduced me to when I was young. His sourdough pancakes, it's my favorite, and Poppy's cakes are very, very similar. So, and they're real thin and airy and absolutely delicious, and they deserve the real maple syrup. And I'm having guests over Friday morning to have pancakes, and we're going to use some fruit compote on it. Anyway, have a blessed day, everyone. KQ4SDX. I look forward to hearing from you, Dad and Ed. I'll be listening. 7-3.
If I don't take Glenn and Ed's check-in and leave right now, I might make it there in time for breakfast. Nah, I better take the check-ins. Have a great day, Kathy. Good morning, Glenn. KI6TC. I just thought Ed was making up your voice this morning. Sorry about that. Good morning.
Good morning, Brian. Good morning to the net. Good morning, Kathy. And good morning, Edward. Well, I'll never tell, so I'll keep you guessing. And I just had sourdough waffles this morning. They're so fluffy and extra sour, and I don't even put butter on them. No maple syrup, nothing, just dry. I mean, they're so delicious, just plain, seriously. So that was part of my breakfast.
You are not going to let up. I am just going to be, I'm going to be starving here for the next hour. Sounds delicious this morning. Yeah, it takes commitment. How far in advance do you have to prep the batter for sourdough waffle?
Well, I use dark rye. First of all, the rye flour is very active in the sourdough starter. Best flour to use. It's very lively, and the results are extra good. And it takes a long day, a night, and a long day, or reversed. But I just like the extra sour.
No, especially when used with a nice salted real butter and real maple syrup. Yeah, it is quite the treat. Alrighty. Yep. You know, some people, they if you call on them to plan breakfast much further ahead to running up to the local store and picking up a pop can of biscuits, they're lost. Or a trip to McDonald's for a McMuffin. No. Well, good morning, Glenn. What do you have for the net this morning, sir?
Well, I agree with the pure maple syrup. Further, yesterday I made a contact with someone, well, it was an instant friend, and I had a beautiful conversation with Don in New York. WA2, I want coffee. IWC. WA2, IWC. And you may know him.
I recognize the call, but I'd have to look it up to know more. So was that on the repeater here, or did you get that HF fired up?
No, that was on the Blindham's network. And he says he listens quite often, and he doesn't check in because, or he seldom checks in because he gets checked in and then he can't respond when he's called because he will frequently have a sale to tend to.
Yep, that's what happens when real life gets in the way of our hobby. Yeah, I just don't start my business activities till usually 11 o'clock in the morning, but you know, you can get away with that. Phone calls go to voicemail, and my day just starts a little bit later. But yeah, if you have people coming in through the door, no way can you stop that, nor would you want to stop funding your life. Well, very good. Glad that you were able to make that contact, and yeah, it's great to find out that you have something in common when you meet people. Well, good morning to you. We better check and see if is Ed still down there with you, or is he headed back up north?
Well, that's my secret. I'll keep you guessing. So with that, I'll sign clears. AI6US in the net, KI6TC, clear 7-3 all. Love you, Kathy.
We all love Kathy. Have a great day, Glenn. Good morning, Ed. KB6ED. Frankly, I don't care where you are. Good to hear you.
Good morning, Brian. Good morning to the net, and I'll throw some love Kathy's way too. Good morning, Kathy. And I'm shocked. I added us to the list, and my hand doesn't have any bruising. Anyway, I wanted to ask you. You were mentioning computers earlier, laptops specifically, and I've got a desktop that could use a new home. Do you have any need?
No, I do not. I'm going with mini computers now for my needs, but no, if you have something, I made mine available through our Groups I.O. page. Just go on to the Sierra Foothills Amateur Radio Club Groups I.O. page, and I found it was very easy to get rid of a good desktop, especially if something's aging out because of the OS. I just threw Linux on it and, put it out there as a beautiful desktop with Linux.
All right, I'll do something like that. Anyway, today's just a day to run some errands. We're going to head out to Trader Joe's and Winco and Costco and then looking forward to a nice dinner. I as you can tell by the fact that I'm using my dad's phone, I'm in Sacramento, and looking forward to dinner with him tonight. And anyway, I'll turn it back to you, KB6ED 73.
All righty. Well, you have a wonderful day getting out there, and I'm sure you're going to be getting caffeinated and breakfast before you hit the shopping. So good to hear that you're in town, and thanks for checking in this morning. Yeah, and you just got away with your check-in just because your dad bailed you out. KB6ED AI6US. You have a wonderful day at 7-3.
Oh, I will add, just to add to your misery, that my dad made me the most perfect fried eggs here for breakfast. Oh, they were yummy.
Well, good for you. Nobody's around for me today. I'm just going to have to find something that I can swallow and get some nutrients out of. I'm just kidding. I'm sure I'm going to make a wonderful breakfast. That's awesome. Your dad whipping up a good breakfast for you. Have a great day, Ed. KB6ED AI6US. Good morning, Coffee Break Net. Coffee Break Net, of course, is where the sun is always shining, the birds are singing, and the fish are jumping. We have the Loomis Ham Fest coming up on March 8th. So if you're in Northern California, this is the first ham fest of the year, and great swap meet. Sellers, 6 a.m., buyers, 7 a.m. This will be at the historic Loomis train station in Loomis, California, March 28th. That's Saturday. And, we're going to have tons of prizes. We have some great prizes. M1KE. We have radios, mobile radio. We have portable battery systems, HRO gift certificates. I think we have somewhere right around $1,500 or $1,600 worth of awesome prizes this year to win at the Ham Fest. And then, of course, donuts and coffee will be available there. And we are trying something new this year. We're putting up a social area. We're bringing in chairs and canopies and just make a place where people can sit and visit, because we know that Ham Fests are as much of a social event as it is a buying and selling experience. So there we go. That's March 28th, the historic Loomis train station in Loomis, California. If you want more information, head on over to W6EK.org. That's Whiskey 6 Echo Kilo.org for more information about the Loomis Ham Fest. And By the way, any Sierra Foothills Amateur Radio Club members who are listening, we need you to volunteer. We're still a little light on the volunteers, and typically every year we have 50 to 60 volunteers, and I think we're still below that level. So we need you to volunteer, even if for just a few hours, to help us out. Really appreciate it. RSVP now and let us be there. That will make Frank AG9M rest a little bit easier, knowing that he has the volunteer list filled out, populated. Hey, good morning, Coffee Break Net on the W6EK Repeater. Let's go ahead and take check-ins. I'm Brian, AI6US, and who is out there this morning?
Inshu, DYI, GXX.
Kilo November 6, November Uniform, Foxtrot.
89CA on the float.
N5 TIN. K6 NTD.
6CZB, listening in.
All right, this is who I heard, so let's see if that correlates with who is out there. Good morning, Gerry, W6CZB. It sounds like maybe we'll be back to you for a short check-in. K6 NTD, good morning, Sam. N5 TIN, good morning to Steve. And AD9CA, I believe that was, shouting at the top of his lungs, be heard over everyone else. Good morning. We'll be back to you in a moment. KN6NUF, good morning, Joshua. K6DXN, good morning there, Simone. N2DYI, good after morning to Patrick. I know I missed a few folks. There was a big kerfuffle. Who did I miss?
Kilo Charlie 6, Sierra Lima Echo.
KD6QZH. Log only or, sorry, it's too early. In and out.
All right, I have Gerry, W6CZB for in and out. I have Graydon. Good morning, Graydon. And KC6SLE. And good morning, Peter, KD6QZH for in and out. Anyone else on this list going to be a in and out, or was everybody else rag chew? All right, we'll go with the list as it is. Two folks for in and out, the rest for rag chew. Good morning, Gerry, W6 Charlie Zulu Bravo. Good to hear you in this morning. Okay, you're not going to do that to me. W6CZB, Gerry, good morning. I don't know if I heard him. KD6QZH. Good morning, Peter, for in and out.
Good morning, Brian, everybody of it. Peter, KD6QZH, and lead work one. I started work early this morning, so I'm taking a few minutes to say hello to y'all. And so it's kind of fitting today. I'm drinking my coffee while I'm checking into the Coffee Break Net. I should. Next time I'll take a photo. Anyway, just wanted to say hi, not much going on here as I'm working, so I'll pass
Well, thank you so much for checking in this morning, Peter, and glad to have you check in this morning. And you have a wonderful day ahead. Thanks for making time in your busy work schedule to say hello. Clearing the TD6 QZH, and let's go ahead and that is all for the in and out. So let's head on up to Patrick. Good morning, Patrick, into DYI.
Good morning, Brian, and everyone on the Coffee Break Net. Hope everyone's having a great day. Well, yeah, you mentioned the Loomis Hamfest. We have a big multi-day Hamfest down here in North Carolina that I haven't been to since 5 United States presidents ago. It's the Charlotte Hamfest. It's Friday, Saturday, and I think Sunday. I can't remember if it's also Sunday, but I know it's Friday and Saturday. And I thought about getting myself on an Amtrak and getting off at Concord, which is where the Hamfest actually is. It's like 3 Amtrak stops away. But I don't know. I would rather go to the Hamfest with someone. It's one of those things. It's just more fun if you've got someone to go with. And so I will not be doing that. But yeah, it's Hamfest season again.
Yeah, boy, that sure takes the resources to put on a big ham fest like that, multi-day. You know, a lot of planning goes into those, and hats off to anybody who pulls that off. What a group of people do that. Yeah, I absolutely agree. Very social event, a lot of fun when you take a friend along who talks you out of or into buying, out of or into buying things.
Well, my experience with that was usually the other way around. Usually the friend ends up convincing you that, yeah, actually you really should buy that and that and that and that, so I don't have to.
I don't know. You wouldn't want to go with me because I would see the item first and just tell you it didn't exist, and then I would slip 20 to the guy and put it in my backpack. I'm cruel.
You are a bad person. Oh man, yeah. There were times when I used to frequent lots of Hamfests every year. I would say I would probably go to like 7 or 8 Hamfests a year for a while, and you know I would just go off wandering and go up and down the tables and eventually catch up with people. And I would find stuff, and it was kind of funny because I would come back with whatever, and the person I was with was like, "Where did you find that?" I was all over the place, and I didn't see that. Well,
I didn't see it either, but I have it. Hey, probably had fun with that one. No, it'd be kind of interesting. I'm going to give you just kind of a sanitary warning, though. Some items that show up at Hamfest may not have been properly sanitized before their placement on the table. So for somebody who just kind of wanders through and explores the tables by touch, maybe you didn't want to hear that announcement.
Oh, believe me, I'm aware. Wipes and hand sanitizer, etc.
Yes, indeed. Well, very good. Well, good to have you drop by this morning. And, now the weather's changed again. Blue skies and sun is out again. Hopefully you're having a beautiful day back your way.
Yeah, it's a nice day. It's going to be a nice few days coming up. High of 73. I'm not sure what it is right now. The low this morning was around 45. And it's sunny. No precipitation in the forecast for, well, depending on when you look, anywhere from the next 4 to 10 days. Who knows? But, yeah, the next few days are going to be in the mid to upper 70s for highs and up around the sort of upper 40s for lows, low 50s. So it's spring for now anyway. See how long that lasts.
It will last until you plant your early seedlings in the garden, and then it will freeze in May. Yes, that's just the way it happens. Well, good morning to you there, Patrick, or good afternoon to you, and thanks for dropping in this morning. You have a wonderful day ahead.
All right, you as well, Brian. I'm going to go back to some more testing. I think I'm finally going to be able to get my amateur radio newsline on demand node that I talked about so many years ago online pretty soon. Bruce has built me a custom version. Actually, he added some functionality to the parrot node that he built that turns it into a program playback node. It was a couple of weeks ago discussing with KC1FSZ about this particular application, and I was like, I think the parrot that you built already does most of what I want it to do. And he's like, yeah, actually it does, so let's add some more functionality. So I'm going to get that installed and do some testing and see if it's viable, and then if it is, I'll put that out to the world, and then any repeater who wants to get a better version of amateur radio newsline. I don't like how the built-in script for ASL breaks it up by time. It makes it kind of awkward. So going to do this and see if it works a little better with regular intervals to avoid timeouts on repeaters and nodes. So more on that later. Brian, have a great day. AI6US into DYI.
I know we need to get moving down this list, but a quick question. What happens if QSO is happening at the time that the scheduled playout is to begin?
Well, that's the best part. What it can do is when you make an auto connect happen, you can normally what I'm planning on doing is having a few announcements that show up, 10 minutes before, 5 minutes before, and then it bridges. But this is also not going to be a conference bridge. It's going to be where everyone calls it and they get their own private little conference or their own private stream. So you can have 10 different people connected to the node, and those nodes never hear each other.
But if there's local traffic on the repeater when this scheduled event happens, is there any consideration to existing traffic, or does it just take over the repeater or the node?
Well, that's up to whoever does the connecting. So the node doesn't care about any of that. If you want to be clever about it and bake your own stuff into your connect script so that it only connects after a certain amount of inactivity after the schedule has gone off, you can do that. But yeah, the node doesn't care.
How interesting. I think it would be great. I don't recall us ever playing the news line here on our repeater, but I think it would be a great thing to put on one of the evenings when we don't have a net traffic. So we'll have to talk more about this. Thank you, Patrick, and you have a wonderful day ahead. Into DYI, AI6US. Always a pleasure.
Indeed. 7-3, Brian. Have a good one. AI6US into DYI.
Hey, let's head on in. Was that K6DXN again? I thought that I might have heard Simone in there. Was that a recheck? I probably heard wrong there. All right, KN6NUF. Good morning, Joshua.
Good morning, Brian. Good morning to the net. Hope everyone's having a wonderful day. It's beautiful outside. Walked the kids to school. It was Abraham's late start day, so we had some extra time together. So we always walk the girls to school, and then he likes to go over to the coffee shop and order himself a Oreo milkshake. And then we walk to his school, cutting between the fields and climbing over fences, and he has a blast. He thinks it's hilarious to see his dad climb over fences and things like that to get to school in the country. But yeah, it's fun. KN6NUF.
Some of us might think it would be quite funny seeing you climb over fences and trying to follow the obstacle course here. Oh, very good. If you offered me an Oreo milkshake, if I tagged along and walked with you guys to his school, I probably would join your walk as well. Sounds like a great activity and something to look forward to on a day like today, especially.
any opportunity that I have to have one-on-one time with one of my kids, I take advantage of it. And these Wednesdays that we get together, it's great. I talk to him about the most random stuff, and he tells me things that I never thought he would. It's blowing me away. He's really becoming a mature individual, and he has so many enlightening ideas. I'm just in awe. I don't know what else to say.
That is so cool to hear. That is awesome. Well, Joshua, you have a wonderful day ahead, and always a pleasure to have you drop by. Anything else for the net this morning?
No, I just wanted to share, everyone, any opportunity you have to hug someone and love someone that's dear to you, don't pass the opportunity. KN6NUF, everyone have a great day. 73.
Yep, often we're reminded of that after it's too late, so great advice as always. Joshua, have a wonderful day. And, boy, an Oreo milkshake. I don't need it, but I want it. Clearing with KN6NUF. Good morning, Mike. 89CA.
Oh, hey, man. Sorry about that. I was outdoors, so if it sounded loud, that's how come. Thanks for letting me check in. I really don't have nothing. I only checked in here one other time. I'm one of Simone's buddies. Don't tell anybody publicly, though. I probably just told 6 billion people, but oh well. 89CA, back to you, brother.
Oh no, it was a pile up. It was a kerfuffle, and yes, no, you were projecting quite well though, but not objectionably so. Well, Mike, good to meet you again. Yeah, I remember you checking in and mentioning that you were a friend of Simone's, which instantly put you on my suspicious list. Just kidding. Simone's a heck of a guy. Drop by again, Mike, and we'll catch you another time. And enjoy. Let's see, you're coming out of Illinois, so I think you're getting a break in the weather, aren't you?
Well, sort of. It poured. Yesterday it was windy. We had wind around 50, 60 miles an hour, and then today it just poured. So, right this minute, though, we do have a break. It's only sprinkling. There ain't much wind, but it ain't bad. It could be worse, man. Last weekend it was real bad. We had tornadoes up the yin-yang out here. Man, we had, I don't know, about 6, 8 blocks over, there was a house that got leveled. So, yeah, we've had our share of weather challenges up here, or down here.
You know, that's the one thing that I hated about living in an area that was prone to tornadoes. Those can sneak up and got to keep you on heightened awareness, and even then, so unpredictable on their path, and hard to believe that so much destruction can happen so close. Then a house right next door, not even touched. Yeah, I'm not going to express my choice of natural disasters, but I'll tell you, tornadoes, they're a sneaky one. Thanks for dropping by, Mike. You have a wonderful day ahead.
Valley, 7389CA, getting out the way.
And I will step in the way. Have a great day there, Mike. Good morning, Steve, N5TIN.
Good morning, Brian. AI6US N5TIN. Well, it's a beautiful day here, although it's gotten cloudy since yesterday, and the weatherman says we might actually get some rain this weekend. I'm holding my breath, though.
A little earlier today, Mark had checked in from Oklahoma City, and they got rain, and they're going to have quite a measurable amount through the weekend. So hopefully it makes it over to your way there. But yeah, he was saying this was the first measurable rain since I think he said November.
Yeah,
had about a half inch about 3-4 weeks ago, and that was the first that we'd seen in quite a while. So I'm really hoping that the weatherman is going to come through for us and the forecast is accurate. I'm down to about a third of a tank of water in my cistern, so I could sure use the refresh. But, just have to wait and see what happens. I remember I owe you a conversation about river cruising. I guess we have to figure out a time to do that.
Well, mid-morning, I'm open for a good conversation here on the net, but, I'm usually monitoring this repeater. It's one of those things you do when you work on them. You got to be constantly listening, so you can, I'm usually here on the repeater throughout the day, so anytime I'd like to know more about your experience, that is for sure. And, looking forward to doing one of the smaller riverboat cruises in Europe for anybody listening that didn't hear the previous conversation. So kind of looking forward to feedback on that. So thank you.
Yeah, sure thing. I'd be happy to do that, and I'll just find some time here the next couple of days maybe, and I'll hop on the node sometime in afternoon for me, probably a little later in the morning for you, and we'll have a chat.
Yeah, sounds good. After I get off the net here, I usually will try to do a little income generation. So usually afternoon my time, I'm usually pretty available. So if that fits into your schedule, I'd love to talk more about it. Well, Steve, have a wonderful Wednesday. Happy hump day to you. Thanks for checking in this morning. We'll talk soon.
Okay, Brian, that works well for me. That's around 2 in the afternoon, and I'm usually loose ends about that time of the day. So I'll talk to you then or next week on the net, depending on how things go on my schedule. But 73 for now, and check you later. AI6US and 5TIN, 73.
All right, Steve, 73 to you, and thanks for being around this morning. N5TIN, AI6US, this is the Coffee Break Net. Good morning, Sam, K6NTD. Well, I know you were there. K6NTD, Sam. Be very quiet. Good morning, Graydon. KC6SLE. How your pirate eye be doing there?
Yeah, I'm no longer a pirate. My eye is it's still a little uncomfortable, but it looks good, so I don't think I'll scare anybody too bad. So thanks for asking. I did want to mention that you were talking about the Hamfest, Loomis Hamfest. I need volunteers to do Elmer tours, so this is really reaching out to the Elmers in the club. I'll be probably making some phone calls. I've got 4 people lined up now. I really need to have more than that. I'd like to double that. I'd like to have 8. I think we're going to have a pretty good turnout for Elmer tours at the Hamfest. So if you're an Elmer in the club and you would like to do some Elmering, please get hold of me and let me know. And if you see my name pop up on your phone, don't hang up, because I'll probably be asking you directly. But yes, and we do have a meeting. Frank probably will mention this if he checks in this morning. Maybe he already has, but we do have a Hamfest planning meeting Thursday, I believe. Boy, I don't remember the times, either 5 or 6 in the Zoom room. You probably know the...
Yep, so anybody involved in the Hamfest, this is primarily focusing on the chair folks, but if you want to just find out about the planning of it and what's going on and what the plans are, all members are invited to drop on by. So that will be tomorrow evening at 6 p.m. in the club Zoom room. So, yeah, thank you very much, Graydon. And yes, being an Elmer at the Hamfest, it's not committing for the whole event. It's a great opportunity to share some of your knowledge of maybe equipment and what's sitting out on other people's table with a new ham, or just somebody who would like to learn more about amateur radio. Great opportunity to have a little social time, walk around and see all the items that are out for sale, and then also help somebody just find out about what are all these items that are out on the table. So, just asking for a short commitment. So if you volunteer, there'll be a very little bit of the day that you're committing to helping out as an Elmer or a mentor at the event. Graydon, good morning to you. Glad to hear that your eye be doing better.
Well, thanks for the details on the Elmer tours. I have structured it so that I'm looking at people really be available for a 1 hour time period. If we get enough Elmer volunteers, we can keep it to a 1 hour time period that you'll essentially be on call. Possibility you won't be called at all, but if you are called, the great thing about the Elmer tours is you get to go through the whole swap meet with someone else, help them out, very rewarding. But also you get to go through there, and who knows, you may see some items you didn't see the first time you went through there, or maybe you haven't been through there at all. There's no reason why you can't do some shopping at the same time you provide an Elmer, or you provide a person that wants Elmering, provide them with assistance. So I always try to tell people it's a great duty to have at the Hamfest.
Yeah, and the duty of the Elmer is not to talk people out of a sale. It's to just let them know what these items are. So, it's something that we try to provide to encourage people not only to purchase or to be able to sell something, but just that knowledge of what that item is. Some of these are good mystery items, that's for sure. Well, Graydon, good morning to you. I am so glad that the eye is healing well, and we'll be able to look eye to eye to eye next time we meet.
And I understand I will see you eyeball to eyeball tomorrow.
Yep, we're getting ready, prepping for a Ham Fest tomorrow morning up at Jim's place. We're going to be starting to prep and get some equipment unloaded and loaded into other vehicles, getting ready for transporting to Ham Fest. So that'll be 8 o'clock tomorrow morning before coffee with the Coffee Club here in Meta Vista. It's going to be a busy day tomorrow. Yesterday, by the way, went down to AK60K's place, picked up a bunch of items that he has donated for the Ham Fest, and the number of items and quality of items that are going to be on the Ham Club table for the club this year, amazing, just amazing amount of items over there. Graydon, have a wonderful day. Good morning to Grady. Good morning to Lisa. You have a wonderful hump day. The weather down here in Meta Vista, blue skies right now. The sun is out again, second time today.
Yeah, I think you sent the clouds over our way. We have a group of clouds going over right now, but in between the clouds is some nice sunshine and blue sky. And it's a little breezy today, but temperature-wise, we can't complain. It's been very nice. So I look forward to seeing you tomorrow. We need to give Jim some help because we have a tremendous amount of stuff to put on the club table this year, and it's good stuff. What am I saying? It's good stuff. So, Jim's got his hands full. I know he's got a good volunteer team working with him. So look forward to seeing you tomorrow. 73 to you and all. KC6 SLE.
Yeah, was over at his place yesterday dropping off some of the items from AK60K's donation, and he pointed out the 4kW amplifier. Of course, no ham would ever run it that high, but that could warm up the wire. Have a great day, Graydon. KC6SLE, AI6US73. We are after the magical hour of 10 a.m. Pacific time here on the West Coast, 1800 UTC. We're at 10:06 a.m., which means we are overtime now. So I'm just going to go over to see who would like to get their call sign in the log. And good morning to you. Thank you so much for dropping by and being part of the Coffee Break Net this morning. And let's go ahead and just take a round or two for the log. Please spread it out. Make it easier on me. Be nice. We'll get everybody in the log before I close down the net. So taken for the log check-ins. Who's out there this morning? Coffee Break Net.
W6EK Net.
Good morning, Brian. 6 LDT.
WB7, WB6LPJ Mobile.
Foxtrot, WW6D. Have a good day.
Kilo Mike 6, Mike for the log, please, Brian. WP3, CSY for the log, thanks, Brian.
KE0YJJ for the log, Brian. Thank you.
Brian is on 24911.
All right, let's see who we have out there this morning. I definitely missed a lot of you because there was a lot of doubles, so there was no spread it out nice guys. Okay, first of all, I'm going to get a clarification. Sam, I heard you say that maybe the Bouvet group was on 12 meters, but I heard 24.911. I know that's not right. What frequency are they on?
Well, it comes through on 24911. That's one of the frequencies is on Fox Sound, K4LGI.
All righty. Well, I will check it out. Thank you very much. I have in the log here, I have Rick, KE0YJJ. Good morning to you. I have another Rick in the log, WB3CSY. You are in the log. Good morning, Mike, KM6MM. You're in the log. And good morning to Darren, WW6DEF. And good morning to Dawn, WB6LPJ. You are in the log. Looking forward to catching coffee with you tomorrow morning. W8LDT. Good morning, Tim. Got you in the log. Good morning to Tom, KB6SSN. Got you in the log as well. And good morning to Mike, Alpha Delta 6, Charlie, Quebec. You are in the log. The rest of you, well, you were stomped mercilessly into the RF ether. So if you did not hear your call, you are not in the log. So spread it out, please. Let's try again.
Good morning, Brian. And I'm on AI6LZ. WB7, Uniform Kilo X-Ray. This is Kilo Bravo Kilo Oscar Delta Foxtrot Papa Lima BB7 DMP Cannon Falls for or not in now.
AK6NS Alpha Kilo 6 November Sierra.
All right. Good morning, Ray. AK6NS. Got you in the log. Thanks for checking in this morning. And good morning to Dan, KO6LMZ. Got you in the log. Hope all is well with you. We haven't talked in a while, but hopefully we'll run across you at an upcoming event. Good morning to Ken, KB7DFP. Before I move up the list, what's for lunch?
hadn't decided which soup it is going to be, but it is definitely soup today. I know you've never heard that before.
Yeah. All right, Ken. Soup it is. Hey, good morning, Dick. WB7UKX got you in the log. And good morning to Bert, AI6LZ. You are in the log. And in and out, I copied enough that was probably Brian, KD8HPZ. But you are dropping in and out of the system today, so don't know what's going on there. Good morning. Who else did I miss? I know there was probably a couple more. My gosh, did we get everyone? This is Brian, AI6US, and the Coffee Break Net. This will be last call for the log. Any takers?
K6BSY, Kilo 6, Bravo, Sierra, Yankee.
Good morning, Jeff, K6BSY. No wine for you. Good morning. Inside joke. Jeff does not like wine on his Linux, but he probably drinks wine while he uses Linux. Good morning, Jeff. You can respond. I can't say that much smack talk about you without giving you that opportunity.
You are correct, Brian. I would drink some wine while I'm on Linux, that's for sure. But that's as far as I'll go. But I do like wine in that context.
Jeff only uses wine when it's in a glass with Linux. Have a great day. Thanks for checking in. All right, with that, we're going to call it a wrap for this Wednesday morning. Tomorrow morning, your net control operators will be Theta, W6EWF, and Gerry, WA6E. And thank you for riding along today and being part of the morning conversation. I really enjoyed the conversations we had, and I hope you did as well. Join us again tomorrow morning, 7:30 a.m. to 10 a.m. Pacific Time. That's 1530 to 1800 UTC. And this net is sponsored by the Sierra Foothills Amateur Radio Club. The Coffee Break Net, of course, is where the sun is always shining, the birds are singing, and the fish are jumping. Want to thank everyone who checks in the morning, and whether you connect your repeater up to us, whether you come in on your own node, or maybe you hear it through one of the networks or listen to us on YouTube. We appreciate you being part of the folks that are part of the Coffee Break Net. With that, I'm going to go ahead and return the W6EK repeater back to normal usage, whatever that may be. I'm Brian, AI6US 73 to everyone. Happy hump day!